The Mendocino Coast Audubon Society would like to welcome you to a brief video on the cormorants of the Mendocino coast. We can expect to see many similar-looking, large, black, long-necked diving birds along our coast. But if we look closely, and if we observe the differences in their lifestyle, we can easily separate these three species of cormorants. We will begin with the bird that is easiest to identify year-round, the double-crested cormorant. This bird is easily identified by the orange in the face and the chin. This is a common feature of all double-cresteds that is found year-round. This bird also shows a bend or a crook in the neck when it flies. In the winter, this double-crested cormorant with the orange in the bill and the face is very common along our coast. It usually nests inland in trees near fresh water. However, locally there is a small nesting colony of double-crested cormorants in the redwoods about 1 mile up Big River. Young double-crested cormorants are very pale on the underside. One behavior that separates double-crested cormorants from our other two species is that this bird will fly at a much higher altitude. Often they can be seen flying far overhead in a V formation, like geese, which they superficially resemble at a distance. But their rapid wing beats and their bent necks make them easily identifiable. Our two marine cormorant species seem to never fly very high above the terrain. Here is a pelagic cormorant. Note the white rump patches on this bird. This is distinctive breeding plumage that appears around Christmas and easily marks this species until the end of the breeding season, or around July. Throughout the year, this bird can be identified by its small head and long, narrow bill. It will often venture up our local streams to feed. Now in this photo, we compare the two marine cormorants, the Brant Cormorant above and the Pelagic Cormorant below. Note the white rump patch of the Pelagic Cormorant and note the subtle gold in the throat area of the Brant Cormorant. Also notice the blue eye of that species. Here are the two marine cormorants together on a rock. Again, note the thin bill of the Pelagic Cormorant on the left and the larger, thicker head and heavier bill of the Brant Cormorant on the right. Oftentimes in the field, I will notice that the head, where the head of the Pelagic Cormorant meets the bill of the Pelagic Cormorant, it forms an abrupt, somewhat abrupt vertical angle, like a distinct bend, whereas where the head of the larger Brant Cormorant meets the bill of the cormorant, it does so in a gradual sloping angle. Not always evident in the field, but often it is, and I find it to be a helpful key to separate these two species. Now here's again a close-up of the Brant Cormorant. Note the gold in the throat and the heavier bill, the heavier head as well, and the sloping angular junction of the head and the bill. Here is a group of flying Brant cormorants. Again, notice how the end of the neck carries a noticeably swollen head. The neck of the Pelagic Cormorant often appears to simply terminate in a bill. Also notice that the Brant Cormorant can exhibit a slight bend in the neck, but is not as distinctive as that of the Double-Crested Cormorant. Now here are Brant cormorants in the early summer as they enter their breeding season. Notice the bright blue gular pouch and the thin white phyloplumes below the ear of the individual on the left. Now here's a pair of pelagic cormorants, also in early breeding season. As you see, they're beginning to build their nest. Notice that they've developed a bright red coloration at the base of the bill. In the summer, the three cormorants can be separated according to their choice of nesting sites. This pelagic cormorant nests on small ledges along the sheer walls of our offshore rocks and headlands. The Brant cormorant prefers to build its nests on the tops of the offshore rocks. Notice that the adult on the left has lost most of the blue gular pouch, but still retains the gold patch in the throat. Finally, as I stated earlier, the double-crested cormorant nests near fresh water in trees. So that is a brief look at our three large, black, long-necked diving birds that are seen along our coast. I hope that these tips will help you separate them out as you venture along our beautiful shoreline. I want to give special thanks to those who donated their photographs to make this video possible. And I want to invite you to visit our website, MendocinoCoastAudubon.org, for more information and to view our calendar of events. I hope to see you in the field, and until then, happy birding.